where we fuck around so you can find out. Welcome to the show. So, as the title of the video says, just under 100 pages of lawsuit is filed, or I wouldn't say it's filed yet, but it's finished being drafted finally. It's subject to change though, because as you know, the city of Wayne are quite relentless in their violation of civil rights. So it's unlikely that it won't be amended, probably several times, because I'm sure there'll be several more civil rights violations, I'm sure. But as of now, as of today, we have completed our lawsuit. We've drafted it. So now we can file it, right? But we still got other ones to file. We got more lawsuits. I don't know what the hell that guy just said to me, but anyways, so it's all drafted, it's ready to go, and we can't wait. Can't wait. We got so many questions. So many questions that have to be answered, that must be answered, that I don't know if they can be answered, right? I mean, they certainly can be answered as far as the city of Wayne's going to have to explain themselves. They're going to have to explain why they just felt the force law that doesn't exist. Well, I guess the last 19th and July 5th of 25. And then the last break-in, January 9th of 2026, was after the city of Wayne had, passed their ordinance 2025-02, 25-2, that ordinance that they passed. They came on property. Fire marshal himself said he just wants to go onto my property just to piss me off. That's the only reason he wants to go. That's the reason he wants to go onto the property, is to piss me off. That's the only reason, as a matter of fact. That's what he said. So, we got to get clarification on what he meant by that. What did you mean by that? I mean, of course, we all know what you meant. It's pretty self-explanatory what it means, but nonetheless, we really got to get clarification, Really got to get clarification. But I don't know. I don't know what kind of moron you'd have to be to make a statement like that before you break into someone's property. I just want to go onto his property just to piss him off. That's the only reason I want to go. I mean, that's a hell of a statement to make, especially after you've broken into his house. Well, at that point, it would have been 4 other times. So that lawsuit is drafted. We are going through it with our attorneys, just to ensure that it's properly done. And we've been working on it for a long time. And we can't wait. We can't wait. Because as you know, no one is above the law. And the 14th Amendment says that there's equal protection under the law. So, it's going to be interesting lawsuit for sure. I can't imagine there's ever been a case. There's certainly been cases of retaliation and all that, without a doubt. But I don't know if there's ever been a case of just repeated, over and over break-ins at someone's house. Right? To enforce a law that doesn't exist, right? I know they're going to claim that they have qualified immunity. However, qualified immunity does not allow for if something's obvious, right? Like if something is just apparently obvious, like you got to have a warrant. That's been established for hundreds of years in this country. You got to have a warrant to enter someone's property, unless of course you have exigent circumstances, which a bonfire is not inherently not. And of course, the city of Wayne's their own literature that they're relying upon to prosecute me. Well, their own literature says flat out that it's not a crime. So I don't know what's gonna transpire over these next several years. I have no idea. But I'll tell you what though, it's gonna take a hell of a settlement for me to let any of this shit go. So the city of Wayne, they expect to defend their inexcusable action. This is double or triple. Enjoy having less and less public services. Asking you, because that's how the city of Wayne is planning on to make up some of this money that they've lost or that they've wasted, right? That they've misappropriated. That'd be a better, more accurate way to describe it. Well, they're gonna have to. Oh yeah, check this car out, guys. I've called about this car about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times right there. Do you see that? You can't park on limestone. Well, you damn sure can't park on the street there. So, or on the grass on the hill there. Not of course that I give a shit, but I do give a shit in the context of equality, right? When things aren't equally being enforced, then yeah, I do give a shit. Right? So that's something we're gonna bring up too. Is like, hey, this guy lives right next to me, and his car's been parked like that for over a week. I've made several complaints, and nothing's been done about it. Wonder why. It's almost like the city of Wayne doesn't really care about people parking on the grass. They only care when McFarland does it. Then it's a problem. I've noticed only when McFarland does it, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem when McFarland. When old boy McFarland is partaking in the special sauce, then we gotta have a problem with the special sauce. But anybody else, right? They want to park on grass. They want to park on this. They want to park on that. Apparently, that's all fine and dandy, shits and giggles. Apparently, but I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna see. We got a lot of questions. We got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions that must be asked to not just Kerry Miller, Michael Bosnick, not just Officer Elziadi and Elzabadi and all these other bums. Right? There's so many bums. Right? We just can't wait. Plus we have lawsuits against Bartis and all these other people, right? Well, Bartis trespassed me from a property that I was never even on. I never even was on his property. I was never at the Hype Center physically in the property. I was in the parking lot, and then I was told to leave, at which point I did, right? Immediately leave. So I don't know where the criminal trespassing goes in, but of course, that's the polling location that, you're required to go if you want to vote. So it's weird how you could be trespassed from a polling location. But, that's something the courts get to figure out. They get to decide that, figure that one out, how that works, apparently. Because I'm not sure how that one works. I'm really not sure on how that all works. So. We have so many subpoenas to issue, positions to be had. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to just set and interview these bums one by one. All the fucking degenerate, parasitic, loser bum pigs. I can't wait to just ask them very critical and precise questions. I really can't wait. I cannot fucking wait. So, stay tuned. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have depositions. Right? Deposition after deposition after deposition. Saying, hey, you guys reviewed your footage, right? Yeah. Here's going to be the first one. One of the questions. I'll give you a little hint. Right? So one of the questions is going to be to all these bombs, right? Every single one's going to get the same question. So you looked up the fire. So you looked up the report. So in other words, you remember the entire incident, right? You remember, responding to the scene, breaking into the backyard, ordering the extinguishment of the fire pit. I'm going to say, so you reviewed all the video evidence, right? Terry Miller, right? I'll say, and in that video evidence, you saw every single police officer attempt to look up this open burn policy and fail to find it, right? Yep. And despite that knowledge, you chose to prosecute anyways. Yep. Okay. That's going to be a fun one. So in other words, you had constructive knowledge of this not being a law, and you decided to treat it as if it was a law anyways, right? Even though there's no penalty for disobeying this policy, you still decided to initiate criminal prosecution based upon the enforcement of this policy. Yep. Well, we didn't charge him with an open burn ordinance. Yeah, that's not the argument that you think it is, dumbass. That just makes it worse. In other words, yeah, so you didn't even commit a crime. We were just in your backyard because we said so, and we were enforcing this policy, and you interfered. You interfered with our enforcement of this policy by saying no, get off my property. Okay. I can't wait to play the videos. I can't wait to play them all. We're going to go through the video, and I'm going to say, hey, at what point do you see the interference? Please point to the interference. Whenever the interference begins, please stop. Can't wait. Can't wait for them to have to tell the judge, right? We're gonna play the video, and then I want to know at what time does the interference start? At what time does the interference start? Can't wait for that. Can't wait, guys. Can't wait. But yeah, 4 warrantless break-ins, 4. 3 times to enforce a law that didn't exist at all. The last one, well, I mean, I guess you had a law. It's not much of a law when it violates the 4th Amendment. That was the best you guys could come up with, which is just incredible. It's incredible that your ordinance forbids basically anyone from having a fire pit just by the 50 foot from the property line requirement. But then it gets even more interesting because they describe trees, timber, and wood as prohibited material. So you're not allowed to burn wood, timber, or trees, which I don't know if you guys know this, but firewood comes from trees. So if you can't burn trees, by extension, you can't burn firewood according to this retard ordinance. But no one ever accused these people of being smart, right? No one ever accused them of being smart, but even I'm surprised by just their sheer level of idiocy, right? That's what it is, idiocy. And, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more needs to be said. The lawsuit's finally drafted. We got the criminal appeal coming up here pretty soon. I have to check the exact date because it's weird. All 3 of our hearings with the City of Wayne, they all got rescheduled the day of the hearing, right? So that's kind of strange. It's almost like the City of Wayne's trying to get their lie straight, maybe. I don't know. But whatever lie they're going to come up with, let's get getting it. It's time to get this show on the road. Time to get this show on the road. Because again, I just want to see the proof. I just want to see the evidence. I want the city to show cause. I want them to have to establish their case. Establish where you had the probable cause. Where did you even articulate a crime? I don't even see an articulation of a crime, let alone probable cause. Right. Articulation. Yeah, we were in fear of direct interference. So we had to put him in the torture cuffs and put him in the cop car. We had to, because he was going to interfere. Well, that doesn't sound like I interfered. That sounds like you were speculating about that I could interfere, which isn't the same thing. So, and then of course, you know, I'm allowed to interfere anyways, because you're violating my Fourth Amendment right, breaking into my property to enforce a law that doesn't even exist, right? And you knew it. You knew at the scene that it didn't exist. Carrie Miller reviewed the evidence and she decided, fuck it, charge him anyways. Charge him anyways. He's just a big jerk. Ain't that right, Carrie? That's what it says in the transcript, that I'm a big jerk. Well, you can suck my 8-inch dick, Carrie Miller. You're fucked, you fucking cutbag bitch. I'm going for your fucking livelihood, you fucking crackhead, whore, bitch ass cunt. That's what the fuck you are. You are a fucking disgrace to this country, you fucking cunt hag, fucking vindictive, malicious cunt. And I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. Prosecutorial immunity doesn't apply to you, cunt. Nope, not when you woefully knew about it. Not when you used your position to woefully frame somebody with a crime. Right? Not even a crime. There's no victim. There's no law that says you can't do what you're doing. There's not even a crime. But I'm getting framed. I'm getting put in jail because I interfered with the enforcement of a law that don't exist. Well, that's not actually possible. So I got framed for something that's not even possible by a cunt hag bitch named Carrie Miller. Looks like a crack whore, right? All skinny, face is all sunken in. Looks like, I hope she's dying of cancer or AIDS. She looks like she's got fucking AIDS. And I can't fucking wait for that cunt hag bitch to drop dead so I can shit and piss all over her grave. I can't wait, people. Just kidding. Just kidding. I would never defecate on someone's grave. But I know somebody who would do it for about $20 though. I do know that. I know niggers that'll do it for free, guys, just because I asked them to. Just because I said, hey, would you mind go taking a shit on that grave over there? They'll do it for free. Once they figure out who it is, oh, it's a pig. It's a pig prosecutor. A fucking cunt hag bitch, white trash, crack whore looking cunt who thought she was gonna fuck with McFarland. Well, you're gonna find out, bitch. Fuck you, whore.